Hello everyone, my name's Radio Mike, this is The Inside of My Mind, and I wanted to talk quickly today in a film review for Birds of Prey, the Harley Quinn movie that came out a little while ago that I never caught in cinemas, but the last few weeks in isolation I've had pretty much nothing to do, so I've just been streaming a ton of these movies that have been pushed to streaming services, and I just want to say up front that I really like this movie. I thought this was such a good film, and coming off the back of Joker, which came out last year, which was possibly my favorite film of 2019, I just think DC's doing such a good job with their superhero movies at the moment, particularly towards the start of last year when Avengers EndGame came out. I really felt like it was a great time to take a break with Marvel. Like, the movie industry had just been so saturated with Marvel films for like the past half decade until EndGame came out, and I was kind of really happy to put it aside for a bit. And obviously DC's extended universe over the past few years has been pretty terrible. I've seen Suicide Squad, I've seen Batman vs Superman, I've seen Wonder Woman, which I actually didn't mind that much. I saw half of Aquaman, and I saw Man of Steel, and most of them I didn't really like at all. In fact, Suicide Squad I thought was just such an average movie all the way around. Like, there were fun bits, but none of the characters were particularly developed, and the standout character in that movie was by far Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie. So to me, it makes complete sense for DC to sort of reboot that a little bit and just make a standalone Harley Quinn film. And it does sort of refer back to Suicide Squad a little bit. The main premise of this film is that Harley Quinn has been dumped by the Joker, who is the Jared Leto Joker from the Suicide Squad film, not the new Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker from the most recent Joker film. It is in the same continuity, it seems, as the DC Extended Universe. And Harley Quinn is sort of taking the streets by herself without the Joker's protection. There's a lot of fun to be had with this movie. There's a lot of comedic aspects. There's an interesting narrative style. Overall, to me, this is a great film, and I was really pleasantly surprised for it going in. Critically, it was like mixed in its reception, and commercially it didn't do too well. It actually got renamed from Birds of Prey, the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn, to just Harley Quinn. I think it was Harley Quinn Birds of Prey or something like that. I think naming it Birds of Prey, the Fantabulous whatever Harley Quinn was kind of a dumb move, because I think just calling it Harley Quinn would have been fine, and more people would have recognized what it is from Suicide Squad, because I think a fair few people saw Suicide Squad and definitely would recognize the character of Harley Quinn, but I think just hearing Birds of Prey, you don't instantly think of Harley Quinn. So I think it was a good choice to change the title. The narrative structure of this film is really interesting. It actually reminded me a lot of like How I Met Your Mother, the TV show, how it kind of jumps back and forth in time to introduce different aspects of the plot and is narrated by Harley Quinn. I found that really interesting and fun because you'd see things happen and you wouldn't really know what was happening because it was taken out of context, and then Harley would like literally say, hang on, we have to rewind for you to get this, and then it will show you a completely different aspect. There's an interwoven storyline between a bunch of all the characters who end up being the Birds of Prey at the end of the film, and I really enjoyed that as well. You start to get to know all these characters, but it still focuses predominantly on Harley Quinn and her sort of no fucks given attitude towards life and everything in her life. It's got some really stylized visuals. For example, often when new characters appear, some visuals come up and it explains who they are, why they hate Harley Quinn, and a few other things about them as well, which was really interesting. And it really has this cool comic style to it, I think. Margot Robbie's performance as Harley Quinn is just amazing, and I really like the two DC movie protagonists, well, if you want to call them protagonists, but Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn have just been two standout performances in terms of the superhero genre over the last few years. Like, to me, and I may get a lot of hate for this, but a lot of the Marvel movies were starting to just feel really rinsed and repeated and repetitive, and as I said, it was really saturated. These two latest offerings from DC have been really original and really unique to me, and I've honestly loved watching them. I also loved how the fighting style of Harley Quinn really reflected her as a character. She uses like a beanbag shooter with glitter and fireworks and whatever else she had in there instead of just firing like an actual gun. The stylization of all of the characters, particularly Harley Quinn, it's just all so entertaining to watch. There was one scene towards the end of the movie where they were all choosing outfits, and one of the birds of prey goes to take one outfit, but Harley Quinn grabs it and says, "No, I've got sentimental value to that." And I thought it was the shirt that she wore in Suicide Squad, and it was like a cross-reference to that. I could be wrong. I didn't even Google it. I probably should have, but yeah. If that was a reference, that was really cool as well. And the fight scenes were so well choreographed. They were so engaging to watch. I just thought it was... I don't think at any point of watching this movie my attention lapsed. Like, I was just glued to the screen. I just found it so charismatic, so colourful, so quirky, action-packed, adventure, humour, in everything you want. But the main thing I loved about this, that I really, really liked, was it had an incredible and strong female protagonist who gave no fucks. But at no point in the film did I feel like they were trying to make a point of the fact that she was a woman. It was just Harley Quinn is a female hero. Whereas I look at something like Captain Marvel, where there were a few more like explicit references to like, hey, we've got a female superhero. And I don't know, I just really liked how it didn't have to be a movie about a female superhero. It was a movie about, well, she's not even a superhero, but I guess calling her a superhero. It wasn't a movie about a female superhero. It was just a movie about a superhero who was female. Do you know what I mean? There was no active, like, feminist rhetoric or anything like that pervading into the film. It really just was about Harley Quinn as a character, and it didn't matter. It wasn't ever explicitly explored that she was a woman. And all of these female characters are really, really three-dimensional, really, really great to watch on screen. Amazing chemistry with them. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd love to see more from this franchise, including a full sequel to Birds of Prey where we see what they're all doing in the future, I suppose. And I'd be more than happy for it to continue outside of whatever the DC extended universe is at the moment. One more thing I forgot to mention was the soundtrack to this movie was just amazing. Like, some of the music choices and the way the music synced up really well to what was happening on screen was just incredible. And a lot of these songs I wanted to listen to after watching the movie because they were like, there are a lot of cover songs, like cover versions of songs in this, but they were like really unique and different takes on existing songs that really fit the tone of the film, both lyrically and the way they sounded and the way they were used on the screen. Overall, I genuinely thought Birds of Prey was a really good movie. I was really pleasantly surprised with how it came out, the way the story worked, and pretty much everything about this movie had me delighted from start to finish. So yeah, let me know what you thought of Birds of Prey in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel. I do things on games, movies, music, TV shows. I have a bunch of content. I'm trying to do a video every day while I'm in isolation, which is really good because it's keeping me occupied while I don't have to actually physically go into my office. Speaking of my work, I also do a podcast, 20th Century Boy. My day job is in radio. I tell a lot of stories about that. Plus just my day-to-day life, doing funny shit and talking about pop culture that I love, like movies, games, everything I just mentioned before. And my band, Release the Sounds, we're a comedy punk band. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music. I think you'll love it. And that's pretty much it. Subscribe, follow me on Instagram at Radio Mike, follow me on Twitter, it's Radio Mike. That's pretty much it. Now the video is done. My name's been Radio Mike. This has been The Inside of My Mind. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
You were a puppet this whole time, you were attached to string. You were a puppet this whole time. I think back to the meal we ate, I really should have noticed then. You were spilling food all down your